What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be doing my best to make sense of the latest shocking events in the 7 Deadly Sins story, including a very bloody betrayal that I was not expecting. The era of chaos is definitely here, and it is an era of shocking twists and turns. I thought Merlin was the master of secret plans and unexpected twists, but the latest chapter of the 7 Deadly Sins brought about a twist that even Merlin failed to anticipate. Things are changing quickly, and the story is moving in ways that I personally had not expected, so let's break it all down and try to make sense of it right now. If you enjoy the 7 Deadly Sins content right here on the channel, please leave a like to let me know, it definitely helps. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. I always say this, but if you don't go through the trouble of clicking off the option that says all notifications, you're gonna miss a lot of our videos. It's just how YouTube works. You can hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar for all the latest news and updates on the 7 Deadly Sins. And finally, this video will of course feature 7 Deadly Sins manga spoilers. We're talking about the very latest developments in the story, so please proceed with caution. You have been warned. As chapter 338 begins, Meliodas asks outright whether Merlin manipulated the 7 Deadly Sins in order to revive Chaos, some legendary monstrous being that may not even be real in the first place. This was the big question that we were all wondering during these past few chapters. Did Merlin really betray the 7 Deadly Sins in order to achieve a secret goal that they didn't even know about? However, as soon as Meliodas brings up the possibility that the mythical creature known as Chaos may not be real, the Lady of the Lake speaks up. She says that Chaos definitely does exist, and that they've all been face to face with it for a long time. The Sins, Hawk, and Elizabeth are confused and they don't seem to get the hint, so the Lady of the Lake clarifies by saying they've been traveling on its back this entire time. And what's more, she has been patiently waiting for her resurrection. At these words, everyone's attention turns to Hawk's mama. Hawk is doubtful at first. He doesn't think that his mama could possibly be this legendary chaos creature, but then we see the massive pig's body deflate like a popped balloon. The Lady of the Lake says that chaos is a will, so it doesn't manifest in physical form, meaning that which the Demon King and the Supreme Deity thought that they had sealed away was not truly chaos. Not sure what exactly this means, but after Hawk's mama's body deflates, King notices that the deflated material that's left isn't the actual skin of a pig. Rather, what's left is just a shell that was made up of multiple layers of moss. When Arthur asks what happened to the actual contents of Hawk's mama, Merlin responds that the contents are now within Arthur. They have been within him ever since he was resurrected as the King of Chaos. The reason why Arthur was able to use that strange reality-altering magic earlier was because Arthur now has the power of chaos within him. Meliodas tells Merlin to just turn Arthur back to normal, but she explains that this is impossible. Chaos has chosen to live inside Arthur, which means that Arthur is the destined King of Chaos. Meliodas is pretty upset that Merlin has done all of this without telling the Sins anything about it and without even taking what Arthur wants into consideration. But Arthur interrupts them and tells them that there is no need to argue because of him. Arthur explains that the 7 Deadly Sins are the heroes he looks up to, and he doesn't want them to fight because of someone like him. He admires the 7 Deadly Sins, and he truly appreciates everything that Merlin has done for him since they first met. Merlin had of course trained Arthur and took him under her wing, and she had even told him to become a king who makes the impossible possible. This is cool because the power of chaos really does seem to make the impossible possible, but it is also cool because it appears to be channeling my favorite anime character of all time, Kamina from Gurren Lagann. But then, as Arthur is speaking, the physical world around them begins to change again. Arthur's strange new chaos ability seems to be activating without him even realizing it, and the nature of the power seems to reflect his emotions. It seems to me that when he is feeling a particularly strong emotion, the power of chaos activates and changes the physical world around them in a way that reflects Arthur's emotions. And this seems to go for both positive and negative emotions. This is without a doubt a very interesting and potentially dangerous ability, nothing like we've ever seen before in the 7 Deadly Sins, although it is potentially very OP if Arthur can learn how to control it. Then, just as Arthur finishes talking about becoming a great king who can protect everyone and create the kind of world that no one has seen before, his strange pet, Cath, emerges from an opening in the Boar Hat bar. Cath says that he or she or it, whatever Cath is glad that Arthur is alive, and it leaps towards him. However, the Lady of the Lake suddenly recognizes that Cath is something or someone who doesn't mean well to Arthur, and the lady screams at Merlin not to let Cath get close to Arthur. But before Merlin can react, Cath suddenly opens its massive mouth, which features 3 rows of razor-sharp teeth, and attempts to eat Arthur. Luckily, Meliodas is able to react and shove Arthur out of the way, but not before Cath manages to bite off Arthur's right arm. Man, Arthur is really not a lucky guy when it comes to being injured/killed in battle. Needless to say, everyone is shocked by what just happened, and Arthur is of course experiencing intense pain. But the Sins don't have much time to find their bearings because the Lady of the Lake urges them to recover Arthur's arm immediately, otherwise they will soon realize how powerful even a fragment of chaos can be. As Cath devours Arthur's arm, it begins to sprout monstrous legs, and it is seemingly undergoing a major transformation. The final page of the chapter warns us that a power which can alter the world itself is now in the wrong hands, and a crisis is about to occur. Cath, this strange and apparently evil creature, has absorbed a fragment of chaos, and there is no telling how powerful this strange creature from Purgatory will now become. This chapter was definitely something. First off, pretty much everything from the Prisoners of the Sky movie regarding Hawk's mama being the Mother of Chaos has now been confirmed. In the movie, we even saw that a portion of the moss on Hawk's mama's behind had peeled off to reveal a shining white light beneath. And this chapter went on to confirm that the green coating around Hawk's mama was nothing but a shell made up of various layers of moss. Second, one of the weirdest twists in the entire story has just come to pass. Cath, that mysterious creature from Purgatory who I thought loved Arthur and was trying to protect him, suddenly turned on him and tried to devour him in order to gain the power of chaos. I mean, I think that in the past Cath was actually shown playfully chewing on Arthur's hair, but who would have thought that this was actually foreshadowing for Cath's true monstrous intentions? We know that Cath is, as I said, originally a creature from Purgatory, and it was named after Cath Palug, a monster from Arthurian legend. We also know that as soon as Cath showed up, the Lady of the Lake recognized that Cath was a threat to Arthur even before it attacked him. Meanwhile, for some reason, Merlin and the Sins could not sense that Cath had any evil intentions before Arthur was actually attacked. This is interesting, but I wonder why the Lady of the Lake had this intuition while the Sins did not. Knowing what we know now, it is safe to assume that just like Merlin had believed that Arthur was destined to become the King of Chaos, this mysterious creature from Purgatory known as Cath had the same intuition. In my opinion, it is likely that Cath clung to Arthur specifically because it knew that Arthur would one day become the King of Chaos, and it wanted to make sure that it would have the opportunity to devour him and steal his power. Cath has been planning this since the very beginning, and what's more, Cath is more than just some random creature. The fact that the Lady of the Lake seemed to recognize Cath as something more than just a random creature from Purgatory confirms that Cath is probably a far bigger threat than it might have seemed at first glance. Since the one big unanswered question in the story is of course the fate of the Supreme Deity, I wonder whether Cath is somehow related to the Supreme Deity. Was the Supreme Deity somehow sealed inside this creature known as Cath? And was she just biding her time until the Demon King was defeated and Chaos was resurrected in order to make her move? Is her plan to break out of the seal using the power of Chaos and claim supremacy over all of the clans? Or is Cath just another completely independent villain whose true intentions are only going to make sense later on once we learn more about it and its true origins? Because of how the story has been going so far, and because of Merlin's whole backstory, including of course the destruction of Belialuin by the Supreme Deity and the Demon King, I am leaning towards the idea that Cath is related to the Supreme Deity in some way. Perhaps the reason why we haven't heard anything from the Supreme Deity yet is because she's been sealed away inside Cath. I am going to assume that there is a connection between Cath and the Supreme Deity, although to be fair, I could be completely off base. But I will say this much. If we look back to Arthurian legend and the legends of Great Britain in general, Cath Palug, the creature that Cath was clearly based on, is a monstrous cat whose mother was Henwen, a legendary great white pig. We know that Hawk's mama is a giant pig, and in the Prisoners of the Sky movie we saw that she was white on the inside. We also know that Hawk's mama was Chaos, and that Chaos created the Demon King and the Supreme Deity in the first place. So if we take the story about Cath from Arthurian legend, then just like Cath Palug was born of Henwen the pig, perhaps the Cath from the Seven Deadly Sins is the Supreme Deity who was herself born of Chaos. The same Chaos that for most of the story took the form of a giant pig. It is important to note that in some Arthurian stories, Arthur himself fights Cath Palug, and in some versions of the story, Cath kills Arthur, while in others, Arthur defeats Cath. Nakaba Suzuki definitely takes a lot of inspiration from Arthurian legend, and many of his characters, including Cath and Hawk's mama, are inspired by specific characters from Arthurian legend. In this case, Cath Palug and Henwen the pig. But with that said, Nakaba also takes a lot of liberties with these legends, and the story of the Seven Deadly Sins is only very loosely based on Arthurian legend. So it is also possible that Cath will turn out to be a completely different creature that isn't necessarily related to the Supreme Deity. However, if that is the case, then we're still going to need to get Cath's backstory and why exactly this creature was hanging around Arthur this entire time. And also, why is it so determined to absorb the power of chaos? Please let me know what you guys think. How did you like this insane chapter, and why do you think that Cath attacked Arthur? Is Cath the Supreme Deity in disguise? Is it just an independent villainous creature? Or is there something else going on here, something that I am missing? Also, how was the Lady of the Lake able to tell right away that Cath had evil intentions when none of the Sins were able to pick up on it? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more 7 Deadly Sins content on the channel, please leave a like to let me know. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. I want to give a massive thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons who support the channel and make what we do possible. With all the problems on YouTube lately, patron support means more than ever, so thank you guys so much. Special thanks to all of our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, $50 Beat, Anatoly Kazatsky, Alpha Dio, Angel Cruz, and Team Sparky 65. And I can't forget the ones who rise above all other clans. A huge thank you to all of our The One tier patrons, including Ingrata, Alolanadam, Matty Mac, Makotakun, The World, Steelers, The School Bus, and Tyson Quirino. If you enjoy our content and you feel we provide value for you, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single dollar will give you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, and your name will appear in our videos along with these legendary people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.